When you say 2025 NFL draft, what is the first thing that comes to mind that isn't about you working up in Green Bay, but is about the draft?
I just think this draft is gonna yield a lot of fruit. And by fruit, I mean a lot of production coming into this draft from college that will correlate to the NFL. I see a lot of guys who will be playing in the league from this draft, especially the first 2 days. Like, this is one where you just look at, I mean, the production, because this is the last of the COVID kids, right? You know, the kids that are now more mature, they're coming in, they're coming into the league 23, 24, 25 years old. So they're so much more mature than back when we came in, where you had the 20, 21, 22 tweener age group.
21 years old, where you walked around, you want to go? You want to go?
Exactly.
You want to go?
Kids that were coming in that couldn't go to the bar with you after practice type. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that's what kind of makes this a lot more intriguing of a draft, because kids stayed in school, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about all the negatives of NIL and everything else, and, pay for play, however you want to look at it. But that's also kept kids in school longer, allowed their bodies to mature. So you're getting kids who have more sophisticated knowledge of football.
Interesting.
Body is more built and mature, and the maturity of not the trappings of fame, right?
Right.
They've got money. They don't act like new money when they get in there a rookie and they do all the stupid stuff that you think they're going to do.
Finally, an upside to NIL.
Yeah, that's the first one Wolf has really bought into right there.
Yeah, I'm saying, but that's what you're kind of getting. So that's why I feel like this draft, a lot of maturity, a lot of depth, and a lot of experience that's coming out. So the learning curves aren't as big, and these guys can produce a lot quicker for their NFL ball clubs.
Oh, this is perfect, Max. I can ask you this question before Wolf gets to, and you're gonna stick around for another segment, so I can burn a question just on one specific individual. You played offensive line in the NFL.
Yeah.
What do you think of Tyler Booker?
I like Tyler Booker. He's nasty. He's physical at the point of attack. I think interior, he's a guy that I know a lot of scouts have talked about the leadership qualities he brings. They use that word culture setter. I don't necessarily like that phrase.
Yeah.
Like, he fits into a locker room and he has a voice. That's how I think of it. That's what I think of culture leader. Like, I'm not afraid to speak my mind, and I'm going to say it, but I'm also doing it for the positivity of the group, to make the group better. I like those tangible traits in him. He's a guy that, like you said, I mean, he could be anywhere from first round to second round. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a big swath. It depends on who needs that, and are you willing to take that chance in the first round on a guard, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's more he's that mid to late guard pick.
It's not like Calvin Banks Jr., who could be a guy who could play inside and then made his hay outside.
Right,
yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, so whereas you kind of look at like Kelvin Banks, the Will Campbells, Armand Membu, Josh Simmons, like all tackles that can convert to guard. Like, this guy's a true guard. That's an interior lineman, right?
Right.
But I think he's probably the best. Him and Jared Wilson are probably the top two interior linemen, I would say, in this year's draft. So I think if you're going for interior, which, if you're the Cardinals, right, you already have Paris Johnson Jr., you already got one guy out there on the edge, and then you brought in Jonah Williams last year, free agency. So you've kind of made your money with those and spent your money on your exterior guys. Let's focus on the interior, build up Evan Brown and Froholt and company, and get somebody that's a young mauler, because you want to run the football. We've seen the last 2 years, y'all want to run the football.
I only got a minute, but I got to ask you this right now. I used to have a coach. His name was Tom Bresnahan. Tom Bresnahan was an offensive line coach, an offensive mind, the K-Gun in Buffalo. He was the offensive coordinator up there, just a great guy. He used to say his belief was, give me tackles. I'll draft tackles, and I'll make guards out of them. Your feeling on that?
I mean, obviously, it's different from the Tom Cable school, where it's like, take a bad D line and make him a good offensive lineman, right?
Right.
So I like Bresnahan a lot better.
Yes.
But I will say this. I think you can make a tackle a guard, but if you got a true guard, why have to build one when one's already made?
Yes.
Right? You know what I'm saying? It's like, why do I want to go have to make a pepperoni turnover when I can go buy a Hot Pocket? You know what I'm saying?
And I think Tyler Booker is special. I think he is.
He's really good. Like, him and Jared Wilson are my two favorites at the guard position.
Okay.
I like both of those guys. And I think Jared's going to have some center capability too. But anytime you get a guy that big that can run sub 4.5, 4.9,
yeah,
I'm like, I like that guy. because that reminds me of Marquise Pouncey.
I just like watching Booker knock people to the ground.
He mauls.
Yes.
He mauls. It's like a grizzly bear coming out of hibernation.
Yeah, see if you could draft a grizzly bear with the 16th pick, wouldn't you do it? Just put him out there on the offensive line. All right, well, Max Starks is here in studio. He's going to be at the draft, and he's going to be covering every single pick for ESPN.
Every single.
You know what I like?
He's not going to be at the draft.
No.
Max Starks is the draft.
Max, I've always liked this about you. You ease into things. You're like, I'll cover like 2 or 3 picks. Could you cover 257? Sure, I'll just do all 257.
Yeah, why not? I mean, sure. I mean, and I've seen half these kids at least.
There you go.
That's the one good thing.
That's more than everybody except
I can enunciate. I can enunciate all their names.
Oh, that's a good. We should quiz them, Wolf. Like, what's been the toughest name you've had to do so far? Because you got to know all of them.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's Princely U. Yeah. So, I mean, he's obviously one of the ones, and it's Umen Mielen.
What was that?
Wolf's taking notes for
Mielen.
I'm going to go ahead and write that down.
I mean, obviously, everybody else, because his brother, Prince, I mean, you got Prince U and then Princely U. Yeah. So it's like Princely, as long as you know how to say Umen Mielen, you should be all right.
You're good. Well,
just got to say it quickly.
Yeah. Typically, I mean, this is what I learned from all those years in hockey. If you just say it quickly, chances are a lot of other people are going to be like, no, he must know what he's talking about because he said it confidently.
Oh, right? Yeah, exactly. Nikolai Habibulin.
Yeah. There you go.
That's right. With certitude.
Yeah.
Max, the Cardinals could go in a few different directions. I know it's tougher to project because they're picking 16, but I guess I'd even go a step back and just say, with what they've done so far this offseason, how much freedom does that give them on draft night in your mind?
I think it gives them a good amount of freedom defensively.
Okay.
I think offensively still some work to do. And I think how that board falls to them by the time you're at like that 15, right, with Falcons pick right before you, to let you know where you're going. And I think, when people hear best available, I think it kind of gets diluted down a lot. When people say, "Oh, we're going with the best available on the board," well, there's your needs, which are there, but then every position has a top 5 ranking in a draft room, right? Each position group, and so when you come to your turn, the best available, there's 12 different names that's in the best available. Now you address the need based off of your board. So, am I going to take the number 2 wide receiver on my board, or do I get the number 3 cornerback? And that's how your value goes when you're talking about best available. I just want to make sure I clear that up because a lot of people hear that. I don't think they understand that. So it's like understanding like that's when you're saying best available. And I think for the Cardinals, when you're getting there, you spent a lot of free agent capital on defense that this offseason, which was needed, right? I mean, we've talked about how many years have I been on these airwaves and we've had these conversations after games, weekly review about run defense. And it's gotten better.
Yes.
But now we've kind of shored that up a little bit. Now we need edge pressure, right? You haven't found those dogs off the edge because you look at your division like, hey, we've got to get to Matt Stafford, right? And we've got to get to now Sam Darnold. Anyways,
or
whoever's going to be
scheming a lot of pressure and scheming sacks.
And I don't like those blitz heavy dependent sacks.
Right. Yes.
I need a guy to just say, I'm going to go whip your tackle. I don't care what you the other 10 do. I know what my assignment is.
My 4 guys are better than your 5.
Exactly. And we're going to hit home. So I really think if edge is high up on your board, like your edges haven't gone, I would look at that and say that would be my number 1 thought in my head.
Okay, so when we start talking about edge guys right now, what do you think of Max Starks, who's going to be doing radio all of the draft?
Yeah, we got to ask you now because by Sunday night, you're not going to be thinking much.
I won't even know my own name by Sunday night. Hey, man, what is it? Okay.
Is there a chance you call Malachi Starks Max Starks at some point during the draft?
Oh, no, I'll just call him Cuz.
Okay.
Family got drafted.
So, who do you like on the edge?
Ooh.
How about Shamar Stewart?
I like Shamar Stewart.
You do like him.
I like him. Here's the only hang up that people have to get past.
Okay.
You cannot look at his numbers.
Yeah.
Can't look at his numbers.
Are you saying you shouldn't? Or
no,
are you
should. You should not look at his numbers at Texas A&M.
Oh, I see.
You have to look before because Texas A&M is a black hole for defensive production.
Okay.
Everybody that goes
guys in this draft,
because you think about it, guys who go to Texas A&M, their numbers go down. Guys that leave Texas A&M, their numbers go up. And so we have to just look at the athlete.
Like Texas A&M, is that what you're saying?
I mean, whatever the thing is with listen, go 12th man. Listen,
now you've angered the Seahawks fans.
They're great. They're great. Listen, I like Christian Kirk. I mean, Saguaro kid that went to Texas A&M.
Of course.
Yeah, but that's about it.
Good kid.
So I like him because I like his measurables. I like the size. I like the length. I like the get off.
I like his bull.
Yeah, he has a nice bull, and if he can develop the long arm stab off of that bull rush, quite effective because he has long arms. So if you can get that extension here, that it frees that hand up, you can now shorten that corner on the backside edge. So I like Shamar Stewart. I like Mike Green.
Yeah,
I like him a lot.
You like Mike Green?
I do.
The kid from Marshall.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like him. Physical. Another one. Yeah.
Mike Green, edge, Marshall.
The edge rusher was an absolute menace in his final season with the Thundering Herd behind 17 sacks and 23 tackles for loss. His energy coming off the edge jumps off the tape, as does the physicality he brings to the table. Coming out of a non-power conference, though, can the 6'3", 251-pounder's production translate to the next level? That's the big question for the projected first-round pick. NFL comp, Pittsburgh Steelers edge rusher Alex Highsmith.
That was exactly
like that.
That's exactly who I was going to compare him to.
Okay.
That is so great because here's the thing. Alex came from Charlotte and was a 49er. I watched Alex for 2 years and called his games. Watched him, and I called Pittsburgh. I said, hey, I don't know who's covering this region, but there's a kid down here that looks like Lamar Woodley. And
that's pretty good.
Lamar.
And I was like, y'all need to come see him. Next thing you know, he's on our squad. But Mike Green gives me all the Alex Highsmith feels, right?
I'm going to laugh now if I see Mike Green on the Steelers somehow by the end of this draft.
well, no, I mean, no, because we're not going to be able to draft. He'll be gone before we even get there.
You don't need any more defense. Leave some for the Cardinals.
We never not need an outside edge rusher. I don't know what you're talking about. Give me more.
So in regard to the wide receiver room, who do you think is the best on the board right now? Who's the best wide receiver coming out in this draft?
Me, it's Ted McMillan.
It is.
Boy down south. I mean, listen, watching him live work is ridiculous. And listen, I love Travis Hunter. I think Travis Hunter, if he committed to being a wide receiver, could be a hell of a receiver.
Yeah.
But
I think he's more corner.
He's got to be well. He's more effective and more valuable to a team as a corner.
I agree.
You can if I can shut down a third of the field versus getting doubled and then depending on my other receiver because Travis getting so much attention. I said this. I said, what gets you to a Pro Bowl or an All Pro faster? 7 touchdowns or 7 interceptions?
Well, 7 interceptions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Take the 7 interceptions and go play defense.
Right.
But I love Ted McMillan. I mean, tall, fast, his catch radius and his yards after the catch. Like his explosiveness once the ball gets to his hands, ridiculous. A kid that loves volleyball. So guess what? That vertical height extension, able to extend. He's a technical route runner. People are like, oh, well, I'm like 6'4". How technical it's not going to look like Luther Burden or Matthew Golden, right? Yeah.
But he's still fast enough. He's got that speed.
And he can break away after the ball, too. Like, that's the other thing that people kind of get loose because they see the size and they don't think, oh, he's not fat. I watched that kid break so many tackles and just take it yard over the years with a 5'8" quarterback, by the way, throwing to him. So, therefore, height of a quarterback doesn't matter who's delivering him the football. Just saying that when you have some vertical challenges.
That's right.
At a position group. And he's just, a good kid. A good kid. Interviewed him and everything. He loves football. He's happy, go lucky. There's no worries about him. He's safe for all intents and purposes.
Wow.
But to have that skill set all combined in one package. Yes. Give me that.
You're right on Travis Hunter, too, because the 7 touchdowns or 7 interceptions. What did Marv have 8 touchdowns? And everybody's walking around like he was this huge disappointment. He had 8 touchdowns. So, Max, this was great, man. Have a great Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and hopefully you remember who you are on Sunday.
Yeah, as long as I make it to the plane, I can show my ID. That's all I'm aiming for on Sunday morning.
Thank you.
Thanks,
My
Max.
pleasure, guys.
Appreciate you, man.
Thanks for watching Wolf and Luke. Tap to see more and click the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.